Calypsonian right now in St. Kitts. We're going to deal with Nevis another time, but right now we're just dealing with St. Kitts for now. So let me give you those names real quick before we take a break. And on the other side, we have our conversation for this morning on the road. So Unexpected is leading the list of the most wittiest Calypsonian with 13 votes so far. Next up, we have in second place a tie with Fonzie and Lord Cut. Well, sorry, that just changed a while ago. Just received a vote for Lord Cut. So Lord Cut is in second place. Third place, we have the man Fonzie with 5 votes. In fourth place, we have Calypso Reggie with 4 votes. That's fifth place, we have Socrates with 3 votes. Then we have Ayatollah with 2. We have Blackbeard. Yes, Blackbeard just got a vote there a while ago. So Blackbeard and Socrates both carrying 3. Then Ayatollah with 2. King of the 29 Fellows with 2. Mighty Honesty just received a vote. That's 2. Then we have bringing up the rear, so to speak. Pungwa with 1. Neglector with 1. Lala with 1. Rockefeller with 1. And Turkey the Gun with 1. We're going to take a break, and I'll be back. We're going to have our conversation on the road. Sergeant Amory is already in the studio, and we are good to go.
Refresh and win 10.
Roll up to roll up, cause no man's alone. Do what's right, alright, cause I love you. And we're in this together, my sister, my brother. I don't wanna lose you. I love you too much. I think it's better for us, yeah, yeah. It's better for us, yeah. I don't wanna lose you. I love you too much, yeah, yeah. It's better for us than your mommy to let it roll out.
Bless up, Dejo here, and I'm doing my part in the fight against COVID-19 by following all safety protocols and, most importantly, rolling up my sleeve for the vaccine. So I'm encouraging you to do the same, because that's our best shot of protecting ourselves, our family, and our friends. So don't wait, vaccinate. Let's roll up to roll out.
Welcome back to our program. We are ready and good to go. If you're online, or if not online, I want to invite you to go online right now. We are streaming this morning show, but we stream it every Wednesday, as a matter of fact. You can see us on YouTube and also on Facebook. All right, let's look for ZIZ, and you should see everything there. Good and ready to go for this morning conversation. So let me say good morning once again to Sergeant Amory.
Good morning, DJ GQ. Good morning to you.
Good morning.
Yes.
And let me say good morning to Talbot. And I'll introduce him properly in a bit, but just let you know who all is in the studio with me. So good morning, Talbot.
Okay.
Morning, GQ.
Okay, Andrew Bahas, Talbot. Good morning all again. Welcome to this another edition of On the Road with DJ GQ and ZIZ. I must say thank you. I cannot start without saying thank you to ZIZ for allowing the traffic department to come and disseminate information to the general public. First, I would just want to say quickly, with your permission, GQ. Just an update on the Sandy Point road project, the road works. I was informed that they are almost near completion in terms of the resurfacing by Sawi Paving. And I'm told after they would have done the laying the asphalt, they would have to allow the asphalt to cure for some time, and then they will do the marking of the road in that area.
All right.
And again, we at the traffic department, we want to commend the driving public and also the general public for the assistance given to us during this time. We cry out and ask for your assistance in terms of freeing up the road so that Sawi Paving can get the road space available to them, and you did listen to us and you comply. So again, I want to commend you guys. Old Road, I was told that the project continue with the laying of the rocks on the seaside. That continues. The trucks would be moving from the quarry, going down to the Old Road Bay area. We are asking the drivers of the trucks to be mindful that you're carrying load, and you have to be careful with the speed that you're traveling. Also, we are asking motorists, when these vehicles are traveling with these loads, we are asking not to drive too close behind of them because anything can happen. And after they would have finished laying the rocks, the other section, I was told, would be the laying of the guard rails that would be laid on the seaside of the road. So that is something I want to bring to the attention. Also, with reference to the road markings continue on the eastern side from the Connery area, go right around. The road markings still continue. We're asking motorists, if you happen to come into contact with these persons who are doing these work, please to drive with Jukir. Allow them to concentrate on what they're doing. Finally, I want to just touch base on the written test. The written test, as we announced earlier, that it started last Saturday on the 7th, and the written test runs the first 3 Saturdays of every month, and it's now done at the NEMA building at Lime Keel, and the written test starts at 9:30 in the morning. We want to announce that we would have announced earlier that it's done electronically now, and we would announce that persons would be allowing to do these exams on their cell phones. However, we recognize that there's a problem with the cell phone. Sometimes when you're using your cell phones and you log on to the app, if you receive a call, it automatically cut you off and give you a fail. So we're not allowing the cell phones anymore. We're allowing the laptops, your notebooks and tablets. We're not allowing the cell phones to do the test anymore. And just to remind the students that you will not be allowed to do the test unless you're properly registered by your instructor. You have to get in touch with your instructor, and your instructor will have to put your name into the system. Once your name is not entered into the system, you will not be allowed to do the written examination. So I just want persons to take note, remember the dress code, no extra short clothing, no joggers, etc., etc. So those are some of the notices that I would like to bring forward to members of the public. So before further ado, I will allow you to do the introduction of our guest this morning.
Yes, as I understand, the new president for the Bus Association of St. Peter's?
Yes.
Yes, Mr. Talbot, that's what I know him as. I realize our host this morning addressed you by your proper name. Mona Lake went to school with you. Andrew
Bass.
Andrew Bass.
I don't like to hear that.
I wasn't aware of all of that, but it's all good. We all know him as Talbot, so at least people know who I'm speaking of or to. In light of all the development that's going on, the light's supposed to be coming into place soon, and during all of that, some conversation was raised about the concern of the buses, and where you guys will be located, if you should be located, and this goes on and on and on. So I know there are a number of concerns there, but before we dive into that aspect of it, I want to hear from you, what some of your concerns are. And as the new president, of course, you have a statement you like to make, maybe not, some stuff you want to bring aware to the public. I'll open the microphone for you to start off the ball where you want to, if so choose.
Okay, thank you. I want to say good morning to all who in the sound of my voice, Facebook, YouTube. I want to say good morning to my beautiful wife in England. I'm sure she's glued on, and to the entire family in Leeds.
Indeed.
Now, I want to thank the bus operators in St. Peter's for putting the trust in me and electing me as the president unopposed.
Wow.
I want to say, in fact, the entire team that is being elected, my vice president, Devon Smooth Keynes, my secretary, Andy Bazi, my treasurer, Orville Sailor Thompson, and my PRO, Delroy Pabo Carey. I want to say thanks to all of them for entrusting me in this position. Now, I want to get into some of the concerns about the bus association and the bus in St. Peter's. When I received this position as president, that was the 25th of June, July, so a few weeks ago, we actually did not receive anything from the farmer administration, the farmer executive. So there was nothing for me to work from, to say, here's where we are, this is what we are doing. So from day one, had to be working from scratch to set things up. All right? Now, some of the problems which I realized in the bus and the operation of the bus in the gut is the bus stop. Like you said, that is a challenge. Over the years, it's been a challenge. But as time rolled on, it get worse. And one of the challenges which we have in the gut operating is that when rain is falling, the guts run. Passengers can't get to the buses can't even operate in the gut. So that's been an ongoing problem for years. We do not have any toilet facilities. So if you go up the gut, it stink. Because people peeing on the side there. We do not have any place to shelter from the rain or from the sun. Everybody jam up on somebody building there and a landing, and it's not good. And the more recent problem we have coming is when the stoplights turn on. It's no way we will be able to operate where we are when them stoplights turn on. Which means we will have to be pushed all the way back up the gut, probably by the Methodist church step. So we are asking for a temporary location where we could operate in better conditions, not just for the drivers, but for the passengers on a whole. Now, the government had suggested an area there, just opposite where we operate on the other side, by the big skinny tree. A piece of land between Market Street and College Street.
When you go into the alley there?
Yeah, by Highly Good. Yeah. But, like, the executive, we sat and we discussed it and we said, look, no use to move from one location with a certain problem and go in another location and have the same problem. Because once we move up there, we still have the gut to deal with. You see? So we recommend the Bastia High School as a temporary location. And when I say the Bastia High School, I'm not talking about the classrooms and that kind of thing. We are dealing with the entrance of the gate. We could line up there on both sides.
Right.
Now there are toilets there which we could use. There is a building there we could shelter under, and it could be an opportunity for somebody to do business. Somebody could come there and sell, because it's a bus stop. We always need something to drink, something to eat, So, and in that way, it will eliminate us from the problems which we have presently in the gut. Because we don't have any stoplights to deal with, we'll have toilet facility, we will have some place to cool out, and some place where we could operate under a much better condition.
You said you made a suggestion, so you have not received a reply as yet?
Not as yet, because on the holiday gone, August weekend, the Monday, we engaged the Prime Minister And the Prime Minister, I want to say thanks for him to come out on a holiday when he could have been home with his family. Came out on the scene in the gut, and we were able to point out to him firsthand the challenges which we have in the gut. We also went and looked at the proposed location by the Skinny Tree, looked at that, and we also showed him the problem we're going to have with the gut. They were proposing coming down Market Street, going up into College Street. So it was, like I say, we don't intend to move from a problem and go into the same problem.
Right.
So we recommended the Basti High School, and he went with us and he looked at it, and we explained to him, and we were able to show him where we want to operate, just on the entrance there. So some of the buses will park facing out. The number 1 bus will be right by the closest possible to the gate. So the passengers come up, they jump on the bus turn and go.
Right. So you're going to be doing a number system then?
Well, not a number, but first come, first serve.
Okay.
When you come, you line up, and you just go behind the last bus.
Okay.
Every bus coming, go behind the last one.
Okay.
So we'll park on both sides. Once the line were facing out, once that full, the others park on the other side. When one go, the other one turn around and come in the line.
Okay.
You know, and we had the guy for planning. What is his name there now? The guy for planning there. Farrier. Yeah, we had Farrier there, and he asked Farrier to get it moving, get in touch with the necessary offices or the necessary people, and prepare something to bring to cabinet for approval.
Okay.
So that is where it is right now.
I have a number of questions, but I see you have more concerns, so I'll hold back on the questions.
You can shoot it.
Is this now a way of letting the public of St. Peter's know what you're doing to get some feedback, or have you reached out to them during your day-to-day traveling by asking the other bus drivers to say, well, hey, when you pick up your passengers, ask them how they feel about this move that you guys recommended?
Well, we have not done that as yet in terms of reaching the public, because we are still in negotiations with the government. So once we get approval that will be a temporary site, then we move towards that, because we are setting up to have a meeting, a general meeting with all the bus operators from St. Peter's. But because we didn't have anything handed over to us, we got to set up from scratch. So we're preparing, so when we meet with them, we have something to roll out.
Right.
You know? Now, some of the things we want to do, we propose to do, is get a photo ID for all the drivers. You know, you get a photo ID with your name, St. Peter's Bus Association, and what we want to do with that ID, we want to speak to some of the stores who sell parts, maybe supermarkets, pharmacy, you know, that once we set it up and you present your ID, your photo ID, when you go to buy, you could get a discount. You know what I mean? So that is one of the things we want to do for the buses.
Introduce some benefits.
You will give some benefits, because if one do not see any benefit in joining the association, you may not be inclined to join.
Right.
You know, we want to set up where they pay to join a membership fee, and they pay subscription fee, maybe a monthly or whatever, but it's for a year. Every year you pay the subscription fee. And we want to set up a savings account, because there was no savings account for the association. So we want to set up a savings account where outside of your subscription fees, you could put money into that account. You save money. Whether you want to save $100 a week, whatever, $100 a week is 52 weeks in the year. At the end of the year, you got $5,200. You could use it to insure your bus or whatever you want to use it for.
That's for the savings, right?
That's for the savings.
What about the subscription? What is that for?
The subscription fee now, that will go into the association. That will be the association funds where we plan to use it for a lot of the community purposes. We want to sponsor someone from St. Peter's Primary School, maybe the best student or the best two students who are going on and to high school. You know, people in the community pass away, we give them a wreath, and And we were thinking about maybe doing a dinner or a lunch, maybe once a month for the senior citizens in the constituency.
Well, if you can do it like that, maybe once a year will be, just a suggestion, will be more appropriate. But I like that idea of the buses, the public buses giving back to the community. That's a great idea. Yeah. Sorry for interrupting you. Go ahead.
No,
That's it? That's it? That's it? Go ahead.
now we had a burning concern. Before I became president, I saw it creeping in, and people been talking about it. And I decided to nip it in the bud, So I had a discussion, we have a chat, the bus chat, so I sent out something in the chat about it, and it's about the drinking and the smoking while walking. It's a serious concern, and I said to them, for the 30 years I'm in this business, I've never seen that happen before, So I asked them, please, with immediate effect, I want to see some improvement of cutting out that. And I could say I saw a major improvement. I have not seen it since I spoke about it. I have not seen the drinking and the smoking on the job. I tell them, wait till you finish work.
Yes.
Because the bus thing is a business. It's not a lime. And it's not just a business, it's a serious business. I mean, as a bus operator, you could wind up in jail because you're on the road basically more often than any other road user. And God forbid you get in a foolish accident and you kill someone and he come against you. You could go to prison. So I urging them to really take the job serious. See it as a job and not a lime. Because how can one live with themselves knowing that they damage a man or a woman because they were driving under the influence? And that person might be the breadwinner for the family, 2 kids, a wife. And then when you're passing, you see a man in a wheelchair, can't walk for the rest of his life, and his family struggling because the breadwinner is out. How can you live with that? So I try to sensitize them about the seriousness about the job we are doing. And I want to encourage them to let me step up the service. You know what I mean? They asking about an increase. I tell them at this time it's going to be hard to get an increase because we know the economy is with COVID. But we're looking at putting down maybe a 50 cents on those who go to the industrial side. So instead of 250 from St. Peter's to industrial side, we're looking at maybe a $3. But like I said, we have not put it out there as yet because we yet to have a meeting and get the consensus of all the majority of the drivers.
Well, at least now the public has an idea of what your intentions are as the new president for the Bus Association, and which is good. I'll let you continue. And for those of you who are calling, not to worry, after the break, we'll be back to take your calls. I just want to make sure that Talbot get his concerns and the awareness that he wants over to the public. So back over to you, Talbot.
Yeah, another concern we have is my good friend here, Amory, the police. When the police leave in the afternoon, there's chaos in the gut. There are some operators who work full-time somewhere else, and they come on the road in the afternoon, and they don't want to line up. They don't want to follow the system. They want to just go down by the Keep Mutton supermarket or go behind the bus on the other side that is in its rightful position. And it creating problem because you're not going to be there waiting for a trip, and when your turn come, a fellow going to come behind you gone, another one come behind you gone, and you just there waiting. So it's forcing you now to break the system because you want a trip too. So I would like if the police can assist us with that because I just see police on the other bus stops. We are no less than them. I mean, I know we were in the wilderness for 15 years, but Talbot is here, and I'm going to resurrect that, So I need police presence, even if it's traffic warden, And I'm saying that everybody don't have to finish work at the same time. We could do a shift system to accommodate us in the gut, even until 8 o'clock.
Okay.
It gives everybody opportunity to get it on. Right. So that is another concern that I want the police to deal with for me. Then the operators complain when they leave the bus stop going to St. Peter's. If someone come down the Methodist step, church step, and go in St. Peter's and the bus have room and they pick them up, they're getting ticketed. I believe it's unfair to ticket the bus operators while they're on the route going up above the bus stop. I have no problem ticketing them coming up from down by Koori and down the bay because we're trying to cut that out.
Right.
But in terms of once you in the gut at the bus stop,
In the zone area.
you got, we're allowed 10 right now, I think.
10 passengers.
10 passengers. Now you may having 8 and you say, okay, moving slow, and you decide to turn off with the 8. Going up the gut, somebody may come down the Methodist church step and they flag you down. I think you should
Break, and then after the break, we're going to get into a 9 o'clock report. I have some questions myself, and I'm sure our audience listening and viewing have some questions as well. So we'll hear from them after the break. Don't touch that dial. It's the morning show coming to your compliments. National Bank, always here for you. The cable OCS, that's OCS U Reporter. It's a new initiative from UNICEF. Domino's and Digicel. Don't touch that dial. I'll be back after this.
I will take the vaccine because building defenses against COVID-19 is a team effort, and we are all a key part of that defense.
I definitely will be taking the vaccine when it's my turn.
I will be taking the vaccine as it is an important tool in the fight against the pandemic.
It is important for me to vaccinate to ensure that if I do become infected with the disease, it can prevent hospitalization. In addition, it also helps with herd immunity.
I will take the vaccine to protect myself, my loved ones, my clients, my co-workers, my community.
St. Kitts and Nevis, why do we need to vaccinate? Kenisha? So we can jab COVID-19 away.
Yeah, I know we can make it. It's only just a phase. Once we're vaccinated, and everybody gonna be safe. Everybody gonna be one kind, one people. We are roll up to roll out, cause no man's alone. Do what's right, cause I love you. And we're in this together, my sister, my brother. I don't wanna lose you. I love you too much. I think it's better for us, yeah. It's better for us, yeah. I don't wanna lose you. I love you too much, yeah. It's better for us. Tell your mommy to let it roll out.
Bless up, Dejo here, and I'm doing my part in the fight against COVID-19 by following all safety protocols and, most importantly, rolling up my sleeve for the vaccine. So I'm encouraging you to do the same, because that's our best shot of protecting ourselves, our family, and our friends. So don't wait, vaccinate. Let's roll up to roll out.
Today we're at the Newtown Health Center, where we've had the official launch of the COVID-19 vaccination program. We are so pleased to have had quite a cross-section of individuals who were represented here today and taking the vaccine. We had members of the cabinet, we had persons from the medical fraternity, doctors and nurses alike, and we've had quite a number of other persons from the clergy, from immigration, from police, you name it, they were all here to take their first dose of the AstraZeneca COVID-19 vaccine. And so we all got our COVID-19 vaccination card to indicate that we would have taken our first dose of the vaccine. Once we come back in 10 weeks, we will have our second dose, and then once we got that second dose, then the cards would be stamped at the front with the Ministry of Health stamp, and that is to finalize that you did receive both doses of the COVID-19 vaccine. A reminder that the vaccine helps us to ensure that persons do not have severe illness or death. And so we're encouraging persons to step forward and take the vaccine. Get all the facts that you need to get. The Ministry of Health provides all of the information. The facts on the vaccine are on the covid19.gov.kn website. And so we're asking you and urging each and everyone to come out and get your vaccine. Look at the information, get all the information that you need, whatever makes you comfortable. But I can assure you that we have all taken it so far, and I'm feeling good. My arm is good. It was a vaccine, and so I'm excited about that. And so I'm looking forward to my second dose to say I'm completely vaccinated for COVID-19. And as the science continues to evolve, I'm sure we'll find more information and more benefits as to why you should take the COVID-19 vaccine. But for now, I know that since I've been vaccinated, I lower the risk of me getting severe illness or death from COVID-19. I also know that I'm protecting myself, my family, and my community. So I'm asking everyone, get the facts and then get the vax. Today was an example that it is safe, and we urge each and everyone, when it's your turn and your stage come around, to get vaccinated. As we progress, we will provide more information as to the next stage and who will be next. And so look out for that information from the Ministry of Health. We'll keep you informed, we'll keep you updated, we'll let you know how many persons have been vaccinated, and we'll let you know when it's your turn that you can make your appointment calling 311 or any of the health centers. So go ahead, get your vaccination.
Just witnessed the handing over of a generous donation of 20,000 doses of the AstraZeneca Oxford vaccine.
It was a kind donation, as India understands that it is important for us to be able to ensure that the entire world is free of COVID-19, and the only way we can do that is through vaccination.
We welcome these additional doses because it would help us to provide a significant coverage, a greater percentage of our population in terms of vaccination against this virus.
And just to note that St. Kitts and Nevis is also paying forward, and we are going to assist the government and people of Grenada by donating 2,000 of those 20,000 to the people of Grenada. And so once again, we just want to thank the government of India, and remember, don't wait, vaccinate.
Just witnessed the handing over of a generous donation of 20,000 doses of the AstraZeneca Oxford vaccine.
It was a kind donation, as India understands that it is important for us to be able to ensure that the entire world is free of COVID-19, and the only way we can do that is through vaccination.
We welcome these additional doses because it would help us to provide a significant coverage, a greater percentage of our population in terms of vaccination against this virus.
And just to note that St. Kitts and Nevis is also paying forward, and we are going to assist the government and people of Grenada by donating 2,000 of those 20,000 to the people of Grenada. And so once again, we just want to thank the government of India, and remember, don't wait, vaccinate.
Yeah, I know we can make it. vaccinated, and everybody gonna be safe. Everybody gonna be safe. One kind, one people. We are roll up to roll up, cause no man's alone. Do what's right, alright, cause I love you, brother, my sister. And we're in this together, my sister, my brother. I don't wanna lose you. I love you too much. I think it's better for us, yeah, yeah. It's better for us, yeah. I don't wanna lose you. I love you too much, yeah, yeah. It's better for us. Tell your mommy to let it roll out.
Bless up, Dejo here, and I'm doing my part in the fight against COVID-19 by following all safety protocols and, most importantly, rolling up my sleeve for the vaccine. So I'm encouraging you to do the same, because that's our best shot of protecting ourselves, our family, and our friends. So don't wait, vaccinate. Let's roll up to roll out.
Today we're at the Newtown Health Center, where we've had the official launch of the COVID-19 vaccination program. We are so pleased to have had quite a cross-section of individuals who were represented here today and taking the vaccine. We had members of the cabinet, we had persons from the medical fraternity, doctors and nurses alike, and we've had quite a number of other persons from the clergy, from immigration, from police, you name it, they were all here to take their first dose of the AstraZeneca COVID-19 vaccine. And so we all got our COVID-19 vaccination card to indicate that we would have taken our first dose of the vaccine. Once we come back in 10 weeks, we will have our second dose, and then once we got that second dose, then the cards would be stamped at the front with the Ministry of Health stamp, and that is to finalize that you did receive both doses of the COVID-19 vaccine. A reminder that the vaccine helps us to ensure that persons do not have severe illness or death. And so we're encouraging persons to step forward and take the vaccine. Get all the facts that you need to get. The Ministry of Health provides all of the information. The facts on the vaccine are on the covid19.gov.kn website. And so we're asking you and urging each and everyone to come out and get your vaccine. Look at the information, get all the information that you need, whatever makes you comfortable. But I can assure you that we have all taken it so far, and I'm feeling good. My arm is good. It was a vaccine, and so I'm excited about that. And so I'm looking forward to my second dose to say I'm completely vaccinated for COVID-19. And as the science continues to evolve, I'm sure we'll find more information and more benefits as to why you should take the COVID-19 vaccine. But for now, I know that since I've been vaccinated, I lower the risk of me getting severe illness or death from COVID-19. I also know that I'm protecting myself, my family, and my community. So I'm asking everyone, get the facts and then get the vax. Today was an example that it is safe, and we urge each and everyone, when it's your turn and your stage come around, to get vaccinated. As we progress, we will provide more information as to the next stage and who will be next. And so look out for that information from the Ministry of Health. We'll keep you informed, we'll keep you updated, we'll let you know how many persons have been vaccinated, and we'll let you know when it's your turn that you can make your appointment calling 311 or any of the health centers. So go ahead, get your vaccination.
All right, welcome back to our program. We're going to be opening the lines in just a bit, but before we do so, I want to let Sergeant Amory address one or two concerns that was raised by Talbot, the new president for the Bus Association in St. Peters, and then we'll open the lines for you to get in.
Thanks much, DJ GQ. I want to congratulate Mr. Andrew Bass, alias Talbot, for I think that he did a good presentation in terms of letting the general public know what they're expecting from the passengers, and also what is expected from them as bus owners and drivers. However, a few things that he would have spoke about in relation to the ticketing of buses that are leaving the St. Peter's bus terminal and proceeding northwards towards St. Peter's. He was inquiring about the area by the Methodist Church. We have to understand that there's a system in place. The law is in place where that there are designated bus stops, and if that the vehicle of the bus, public service vehicles, would stop outside of those designated areas, they are now qualifying themselves for committing an offense, and they are now eligible to get a ticket or be reported for the offense. I always try to ask the bus drivers to try and control your passengers. You know, it's very important that you let your passengers know this is the area you should stay if you really want to be picked up. And I believe once we control our passengers, we can get places. In relation to the drinking and smoking, I really commend Mr. Bass. That's a very good initiative. Actually, it's law. The regulations in place in relation to the bus owners, drivers, and also the conductors of buses, that they're not supposed to be drinking and driving. And, you know, it's only fair. If you're going to be in charge of persons' lives, why would you want to be drinking while you're driving passengers, right? You will not really be you will not be your true self, and you're now putting other persons' lives at risk. And that is something I am really a big support of that. I hope that not only the St. Peter's Bus Association and drivers would comply with that rule, but I think it's law. I think that all drivers in general really should not be driving once they're drinking.
Okay.
All right, so that is just quickly. I know that we stretch for time, and I would like the callers to call in and give an input in relation to what we're addressing here. So I will yield for now.
All right, 465-2555. Let's take our first call for this morning. You are live.
465-2555. Let's take our first call for this morning. Hi, good morning.
Hi, good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning, wonderful program. I just sat here and listened to Mr. Talbot Andrew Bass. Hello?
Yes, Phyllis, we can hear you.
Yes, go ahead.
And listen, Mr. Talbot Andrew Bass, and I think you have a wonderful president. Men of his caliber, I expect those stuff that he has outlined, he has a lot of plans for the St. Peter's Bus Association. But the only problem I have I'm not from the St. Peter's area though, but as I was listening, the only problem that I have, Lord, I think that bus stop would be far. It's a distance. I don't know, but wonderful program. Sounding good, Mr. Bass. Congratulations to you. But as I said, my only concern is the distance.
Thank you.
Have a good day.
You're welcome.
All right. Take notes, Mr. Bass, so we could address if you want to at the end. All right, let's try this one. Good morning.
Hello.
Hey.
Bass. Yes, anyway, good morning. Lovely presentation, Talbot. Mr. Andrew. Well, I want to say the only thing I can add to your presentation is one big correct. No, my superiors.
So,
months ago, to be a policeman, you have to be interested in the policing job. And you have to be at a certain standard physically.
Yes.
Especially those guys who went to Barbados to train for police. And the only word they had to do in written exam is to spell the word ink. So one man from Anguilla, he failed the test. And they said, what happened to him? And a big man like you can't spell ink. He said, what the hell are ink? So with that, they take him in as a police. Now, saying this here, Sunday gone there, I heard a teacher said something on Chico's show. And he said, an incident happened down Sandy Point on Boaks Road. A well-known individual, he had his car parked in a way that he blocked the freeway of the traffic. He was obstructing traffic. And a police asked him, please remove your car so that the traffic could move. And he refused. And he went down with all kind of thing and flinging hand up in the police face and all of that and locked the car and he went in. Well, the police were called for help and the help came, but they didn't do anything else after that. They just make him move and he went. Now I'm saying that to say this. A police is there to uphold the law. And when a police try to enforce the law, and ignorant me culture and want to refuse obeying the police and obstruct, just call for help and put me where I'm supposed to go. Lock me up and show an example that you ain't playing with them. But you see, when people get jabbed because of subjects, these subjects cannot help you do the work on the road. Thank you very much for listening, gentlemen.
Okay, thanks much.
Thank you. Thank you for calling. Good morning, you're live.
Good morning.
Hi, morning.
How are you?
I'm doing okay.
You have Sarge with you?
Yes, I do.
Yes, morning.
Yes, just a little morning, Sarge. How you doing?
I'm not bad on you.
A little diversion. The vendors down below. Shirley in there.
Yes.
You're gonna have to do something about the traffic, otherwise you have a lot of work to do. The people forcing up there as usual when they see people standing there by the vendors. So it's just a little security measure.
They're driving up the same road where the vendors are located?
Yes, remember that come up, that's one way up, and nobody stop it.
Okay, well, okay, thanks
Nobody
for that information.
discontinue, so I'm just bringing that to your attention.
I really appreciate that, Council.
Okay.
All right. We don't have any calls at the moment, so let me bring this to your attention, I should say. This person is saying, what is the police doing about busmen and protocols? Are they still checking about that aspect of it? They feel that they're getting a bit slack.
Okay, I can address that. Yes, I call her. I must, person who have that question.
Before you answer the question, though, there's a scenario that the person brought to the table I would like to share with you before you answer the question. They were saying last week they encountered a situation on the bus line, on the West Bus Line side of things. First to get on the bus, where there were 5 persons wearing no mask. The driver said nothing and did not encourage others to put on their mask. Secondly, Hadley and stops to Bastia was made. Hadley to Bastia, he stopped and add more to the already max bus. Then I politely asked him, I politely told him that persons were breaching the protocols and he is now overloading. He kindly shied away, like so. I was trying to make money. That kind of shoulder his shoulder. And with that, 2 ladies on the bus began to curse with a lot of bad words, all into the PM, etc. She said she just ignored those for a bit. It was unfortunately that she had to endure that cussing on the bus. She said she ignored for the sake of peace, but at the end of the day, the bus driver said nothing and did nothing, and she's very concerned about stuff like that where you have. She said on the bus it has on the protocols, what they're supposed to do, but they were not doing it, and she endured some cussing, and the bus driver said nothing, and she's very concerned about that. So she's asking, what are the police doing about situations like that and the protocols?
Okay, if I can answer. I first want to commend that passenger. I think that these are things that we want passengers to basically speak out to the bus operators. Whenever you observe that the bus drivers, they are not conforming to the protocols that are laid down by the task force, that it can be brought to the attention of the police. We are encouraging all of our police officers in the different districts to continue doing spot checks in relation to ensuring that the buses that they are complying. Yes, I must say that some people are of the view that we are relaxing, but I can tell you from my end, I am always encouraging my officers at the traffic department that we are still in the SRNO is still out there, and we have to enforce it. And now and again, you must have to go out and do spot checks, especially during peak hours. You go out and you ensure that the bus drivers, that they are complying. If that passenger have to encounter, or any future passenger got to encounter that passenger, you can stop the bus driver and ask him to let you off, because you don't want him to compromising your safety, right? So that is something I really want to commend that person. And if you can make a formal report to the police, and we can have the matter investigated, because it means that driver would have breached the protocols, and there is some enforcement can be done in relation to that. But as I said first, I really want to commend that passenger, and I really would have liked that information to reach the authorities, so that some action can be taken, because these are things that we have to start somewhere. And when you give some sort of stern sanction, persons would understand, well, yes, the law is there, and we have to comply with what he said.
Hence why people are advocating that gentleman in Sandy Point should have been locked up for disrespecting the police.
Yes,
just for that alone.
Yes,
just for that alone.
Yes.
Good morning. You're live.
Hi, morning.
Yes, good morning.
Right. Just wanted to make 2 quick comments. I wanted to respond quickly first to the caller who mentioned her difficulty perhaps with having to use the Barstow High School because of the distance. And I just want to encourage her and others to, bear with it. We've gotten into a type of lifestyle. It seems that what are short distances become long. I mean, ordinarily, in fact, those of us who live in and around Barstow and its environs, very often we park up by the Barstow High School and then walk into town because of the limited parking that you find down in the center of town. We actually park up in College Street, way up above the buses, and walk into town and so on. And I don't know how the gut problem is going to be solved, but, eventually there might have to be some solution to moving the bus stop out of the gut altogether. And I don't know where that will be, but wherever it is, then we're going to have to walk into town. So I just want to encourage her. I understand the way she feels. The second thing I wanted to mention was Talbot talked about asking the police not to ticket persons, the busmen, when they're going up the gut. And I want to discourage that. We must stick to what you have organized.
Okay.
Don't break it. It's what Talbot you're asking there, to me, appears to be almost similar to the objections you make to people coming off their regular job at afternoons, late afternoons, and just come and slip in somewhere behind and pick up passengers and go on with them. Passengers who probably belong in the bus that's up front, at the top of the line. Similarly, if a bus is going up, already pick up its passengers and going up the gut, the person coming over the chapel steps there, coming over from the Methodist Church, that person, by the way you have it organized, actually belongs in the bus up top in the front.
Okay.
And therefore the person going up the gut is taking that passenger. And that breaks your system. The other thing is warning. It only takes one instance to break down the whole thing. Once it becomes regularized that people can be picked up above that line of buses, then that is what we will do. We will not bother to go down the gut and jump in the first bus. It's okay for me because I know the bus is going to pick me up further up College Street, it's going to pick me up all up the top by the Moravian Church, etc. It's okay. So I am not going to come down to the buses. And then your whole system is going to break down. It might be just 1 or 2 now, but trust me, you allow it, you make it a norm, then it's going to mash up your system. But good contributions, Talbot. You know I support you every way. What you're doing is great. Thank you very much.
All right. Thank you for your call. Let's take this next caller. All right, we lost that one. 465-2555. We have the new president of the St. Peter's Bus Association in the studio with us this morning. Good morning, you're live. Hey,
Good morning, gentlemen.
Yes, morning.
And first, let me start off with Mr. I want to make sure I pronounce his name correct. Anjobas. Mr. Talbot. You know me. Mr. Talbot, I must say congratulations to you.
Thank you.
I was very impressed with your presentation. Two things stand out for me in relation to moving the bus stand from where it is. Eventually, you'll have to move. And I like the idea that it don't make no sense you go from one problem to a next problem. The bar stay high, to me that is suitable. As the gentleman just said, personally are getting into the habit of want to, as soon as they come out of a store, the bus is right there. We have to make up my concern is only for the elders.
Mm-hmm.
That is my only concern, because it will be a little difficult for them to traverse, but something will have to be put in place. Maybe the traffic can put something in place for the elders.
Mm-hmm.
You have to still be careful, because some people will just misuse and manipulate the whole system.
Yes.
But that idea, the bar steer, is a pretty good idea, in my opinion. And Talbot, I just want to wish you all the best. And the part about the driving and drinking, that's a no-no for me, even in your personal driving. Because at the end of the day, the life you save can be your own. So I'm glad that you nipped that earlier clock. And I don't believe you're getting that problem from the older bus drivers, maybe the younger one, but I'm glad that you... And one thing about your Talbot, I believe, is it came down from respect. If you're leading a group or whatever, you have to be respectable. People have to respect you. And what I'm getting from you is that you are respected in that area, and I think you're going to get a lot of support. So I just want to wish you all the best going forward. In relation to the Sunny Point issue, I believe I'm speaking about for the whole... everybody in Sunny Point, residents, visitors, everybody in Sunny Point, now that the road is basically finished. Mr. Amri, it's been long overdue, but I can tell you, Sunny Point is a long area, and it's just a good feeling. You can traverse the whole of Sunny Point now without have to stop or have to divert. And I believe a lot of the persons were looking forward, so in terms of the traffic moving off of the road for the persons to do the road, that was easy. That was like ABC. Because person just wanted to get the situation. And with the hurricane season just around the corner, so I just want to ask persons at the same time, because of Sunny Point is situated, just to be careful when you're driving, because it might give person the impetus to drive very fast, and that could create the next problem. But generally, great show as usual, gentlemen. And Talbot, all the best, as I said. I'm very proud of you. Congratulations. Have a good day, gentlemen.
Thank you.
Have a good day. Have a good day. And that's right. We're going to get your calls. We're going to get your calls. I have a question here for you, Mr. Bass, but I will ask that question after our break. It's that time for me to take a break here inside the morning show. I want to thank the sponsors for being a part of our program. And we look like we're going a little extended more than we bargained for. But you know me, gentlemen. It's all about getting the information out. Yes, so we'll do so after the break.
Appreciate that.
Are you between the ages of 13 and 29 and want your voice to be heard on issues concerning young people? Then sign up to U-Report OECS to make a difference on matters that concern you. U-Report is free to join. All you have to do is send the word JOIN to Facebook Messenger U-Report OECS or WhatsApp 758-286-2124. U-Report sends you a poll on your phone, you answer, and the collected data is shared with policymakers. Be a part of this global change movement. Join U-Report now. Our voice matters.
It's Domino's $30 Large Pizza Special happening